What could he possibly have done? Maybe rejoined the human race and told these animals to stop? No. Nope, I'll hold him down and help Farina. If that doesn't look like aid, I don't know what does. Weren't you expecting to see a violent kick from Robert based on what you heard during opening statements? His legs are barely moving. Now, let's take away the last possible line of defense that he has, his legs, and cuff them together so that Farina can stand on the chain and continue this beating. And he stands there, Gallagher, and doesn't do a damn thing to stop this. I'd show you all of that, ladies and gentlemen, from Mr. Gallagher's body-worn camera, but coincidentally, apparently, as he went out into the cold and came back into the warmth of the infirmary, he zipped up his jacket. So I can't show you the rest of it. Nicholas Kefir saw no evil, heard no evil, spoke no evil. He was part of the greeting committee. He strikes Robert Brooks in the arsenal for no reason at all. He pepper sprays Robert for no reason at all. He stands by and watches this occur. He follows the gang into the ER while Robert has clearly been beaten senseless. Never does a damn thing to intervene, despite multiple opportunities to do so. And he sits here today and says, I didn't do anything wrong. He even tried to go back in until he was finally ordered out. You know what I've often thought? We have five senses. I kept listening to this trial about how he didn't see this, he didn't see that. Are these people deaf? Do you think there was noises coming from that room that might have been indicative of the horror that was going on? And then he wrote a use of force report that he tells you isn't a crime. All force ceased. Nicholas Kefir, guilty of murder. Matthew Gallagher, I was just following orders. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what I could do. I had been on the job 18 years. It's still new to me. I just don't know. I tried my best. I thought I'd get the leg irons to what? He's part of the greeting committee too. He watched what happened in the ER. How can a human being look at that? And you're charged with responsibility for protecting that guy. It's a tough job. It's a dangerous place. Yeah, that's a tough job. That's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place for Robert Brooks. He holds Robert down while Anselm and Farina are punching the guy's penis, fracturing his testicles. He stands there and he tells you, I didn't see anything. It's a guy beating him with a shoe. He tried to convince you earlier in this trial that he saw kicking. There's no kicking. He bravely rushes out to his van. Oops. I think I'll zip up my jacket. You know why he zipped up his jacket. Everybody in this room knows why he zipped up his jacket. The next 9.5 minutes are blank. He restrains Robert to continue the assault. You've already seen that multiple times. He yanks Robert's pants off, his final act of indignity to that dying human being. And then he tries to tell you it's regulations. Yanks them off like he's treating an animal. Look at the professionalism, the sensitivity, the care that you just heard about a few moments ago. Never intervenes, never questions, never files a use of force report. Just following orders. Ordinary, good, decent people get a summons in the mail. And you wind up on jury duty. Sometimes greatness is accidental. Sometimes we strive for greatness. A generation from now, your kids, your grandkids, they'll look at you and they'll say, what did you do, Mom, Grandma, Grandpa, Dad? What did you do that was great in your life? In a few moments, you can answer them and say, I brought justice to a system that dehumanized a man, a simple man who did a terrible thing, but whose opportunities were only ahead of him. A man who looked around a room as he was choking to death on his own blood and undoubtedly asking himself, who is here to protect me? I was pepper sprayed for no reason. I was beaten for no reason. I was hogtied for no reason. I was choked to death for no reason. The sad, inexcusable, unthinkable answer is that no one, not one member of that gang, did a thing to help. Not Mr. Kefir, not Mr. Gallagher, not Mr. Kingsley. And now, we all know what happened to Robert Brooks. When you reach your deliberations, someone look at your watch. And when you get to 31 minutes, you will have given more time to these three men than they gave to Robert Brooks' life at Marcy. Murder in the second degree. Just click it forward, Jim. Depravity, wanton disregard, indifference, manslaughter in the first degree, intent to cause serious physical injury, gang assault in the second degree, intent to cause only physical injury, causing serious physical injury, all acting in concert. The question for you is, was there a commonality of purpose? A design, not to kill? They're not charged with intending to kill. 5 times on his summation, Mr. Lubran told you that I was required to prove that his client intended to kill Mr. Brooks. 5 times. He's not charged with intending to kill Mr. Brooks. This was a gang with the express intent of dehumanizing Robert. We're not going to stand for such impertinence as failure to put your hands in your pockets. If you find that inhumanity, that depravity, which is obvious, frankly, the next question is, did the defendants aid in this dehumanization and this depravity? Mr. Kingsley? Of course he did. Mr. Kefir? Of course he did. Mr. Gallagher? Of course he did. The 3 of these men, Mr. Kefir, Mr. Kingsley, Mr. Gallagher, they were part of it, they joined it, they did it willingly. I think to one of my favorite movies, which you may or may not have seen, A Few Good Men. It's a great ensemble cast: Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson. And there's 2 Marines on trial. And they were on trial for killing a fellow Marine by the name of Willie Santiago. It's a great scene cross-examination in the trial where the Tom Cruise character gets Colonel Jessup to admit that he ordered a code red. Not the phony red dot that Kefir ordered, but a code red, which was designed to terrorize a fellow Marine who they thought was slacking off. Turns out Santiago had a medical condition. He wasn't slacking off at all. But it's a form of discipline. So the Marines go to trial, and they're feeling pretty good because they got Jessup to admit that he ordered the code red. And sure enough, they're acquitted. Private Downey, Lance Corporal Dawson. But then they're found guilty of conduct unbecoming a United States Marine. And Downey, if you remember the movie, Downey's stunned. What do you mean, guilty? We didn't do anything wrong. Downey's the shorter of the two. He's kind of a country bumpkin. We didn't do anything wrong. Colonel Jessup ordered the code red. We did nothing wrong. And then the wiser Lance Corporal Dawson says, yeah, we did. We were supposed to fight for people who couldn't fight for themselves. We were supposed to fight for Willie. These three men, before they divorced themselves from the human race, were supposed to fight for Robert. And justice demands that they be held accountable for the brutality of their actions and their inactions. Nobody's charging them with failure to follow a DOC's regulation, but that's part of their state of mind. Myself and my colleagues, defense lawyers and prosecutors alike, we fight all over this country for justice in America's courtrooms. If you ask 10 lawyers to define justice, what is it? You probably get 10 different answers. But right now, today, in a Utica courtroom, I'm looking at justice. That is about to pass into your hands. Justice most certainly for these three men, and justice for Robert Brooks. And I know you have the common sense, the wisdom, the courage, the decency to let justice ring from this courtroom, let justice ring in the canyons of Manhattan, let justice ring from the snow-capped peaks of the Adirondacks, and let justice ring in every single town and village and city in the county of Oneida. God bless you, and I thank you very much for your kind attention, and I wish you Godspeed.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening attentively for some time now. My instructions will take a bit of time, so I'm going to give you about a 5-minute break. Let you stretch your legs. I'll continue on with my final charge for you when you come back. We'll take about 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes.